We know you want to hear more of what Andrew and John have to say. Don't worry, we will. But first, let's hear what they got into earlier today on Kincaid and South Tunis.
If I was to ask you your temperature check on the Eagles.
Final four.
So with
that is where I believe the Eagles will end up. Now, could they do better? Yeah.
I hope
believe
so.
They will be in the Final Four.
With that being said, I imagine that you're pretty comfortable with where the Eagles sit today.
I feel really good about them. I really do. I don't think they were as bad as people think they were last year. I think that they had incompetent coaching. I don't really have any concerns at all. I think this Eagles team, part of it being they're so much better in their division than their peers.
I don't know that that's true.
Okay.
The Giants are improved based on what you've normally seen in the past.
They're more improved.
This arguably is the best upside that they've had. I think we could see another year where they're a 500 football team.
Then where do you see the Cowboys?
The Cowboys are going to be a really good football team. And I hate saying that.
Okay.
Like, that burns me to my core. But that team worries me.
Okay.
And there are two main reasons for that. One is a guy that was in this town. Christian Parker taking over that defense. If they get anything out of that defense to a level where they're league average or maybe even slightly below league average with the offense that you've seen out of Dallas the past couple of years, they could be a problem in the division. Like, I have confidence in the Eagles, but it's not this, hey, the division, there's no one who can challenge them. They're going to have an easy time in the NFC East where they're get to week 18 and rest. But I think that when we're going into week 16 and even week 17, we're saying, hey, we need wins now in order to lock this thing up.
Now back to the show.
And in order to find those wins, you're going to need the best players on the field. Now, it's a mandatory minicamp for the Eagles. There was an interesting, it wasn't an absence, but an absence of the team drills.
He was there.
For one, Jalen Carter, as we're back here on Kincaid and South Tunis. I'm Connor Thomas, in for Andrew South Tunis. That's the voice of Amy Fadul, who's with us for the remainder of the show.
Hi, Amy.
And John Kincaid to my left. So we talked about the Jalen Carter situation, and people are trying to figure out, like, what percentage of this situation is he had the 2 shoulder procedures. Is it injury related? Is it contract? I imagine it's some combination of both, if we're being fair. But did you take that as more of a, hey, we've got a contract situation brewing with Jalen Carter?
No, I did not take that at all. The Eagles have let it be known that they are going to be extending him. I don't think that's a secret. There's two things that we knew. A.J. Brown wasn't going to be here at the start of the season, and Jalen Carter was, and he'll have an extension. I think it's just one of those things that it's going to get done. They don't usually talk about those things. They don't do things in season. We know that. The Eagles are not an in-season type of contract extension team. Once the season starts, they kind of lock down, and we're going to worry about this, and then we'll figure everything else out later. So I think that it's one of those, we know what's going to happen. You look at other players that have had a similar surgery, as far as the shoulder surgery, the double shoulder surgery. They've also been a little bit, I don't want to say slower to come back because that makes it seem like he's hurt. The team has been more cautious. And if I'm the Eagles, knowing I'm going to have this guy break the bank, set the bar for defensive tackles. Right now, the bar is set, Chris Jones, $32 million. He's going to get more than that. He's younger. They believe he's going to be more productive. So if you have a player you're going to have that kind of investment in, why in the world would you need him to be productive 2 days of minicamp in June? I need him to be at his full, complete health, ready to go for training camp. That to me was like, it's a combination of both. It's not a contract holdout. It's
a hold in.
Yeah, it's not even, but it's not even like, I don't think he's like, I'm not working because I don't have a contract extension. I think it's like, hey, we want to make sure you're completely healthy before we even approach any of these things. The amount of money that he is going to get paid is going to set the bar until, of course, 6 months later and someone else sets the bar. But it's going to set the bar for when it happens. I don't think that that's a big question in my mind. I think he's going to beat Chris Jones's $32 million number. And I think he's going to set the bar for defensive tackles. So if I know that, if I'm the team, I don't need to see him for 2 days out there. I don't need to see that.
Now, from what I was told, the team did not hold him out, though.
No, that's what I mean.
I mean, he decided, I'm not participating, and that's a Drew Rosenhaus thing to me.
Yeah, I think there is some of that, but I think it's both.
But I do believe the team might not be displeased with him not being out there because of the surgery.
Correct.
But
that's why I think
Drew
it's both.
Rosenhaus, from what I understand, is the one saying, no, until we get that deal done. Yeah. And from what I understand, from what I've been told, it's not close. And that just makes me wonder is how close the two sides are. They both want to get it done. There's no acrimony reportedly between the sides. But there's a whole thing about, hey, I want to be here. I want you here too. What's your price? Oh, no. That's not, I want you here too, but not at that price.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to be. What we've seen with the Eagles is they try to get the fair market value before everything is out there, right?
Absolutely.
When they gave the extension to Devontae, when they gave the extension to AJ, when they gave the extension to Jalen Hurts, all those were big numbers at the time. They were quickly eclipsed by Justin Jefferson and Patrick Mahomes eclipsed everybody. Yeah. But other people, Justin Herbert at the time, there was a bunch of numbers that came out after those guys were locked in. That's very important to the Eagles because it helps them set up everything else. So they get guys for fair market value, sometimes for a little bit below. That's not going to be the case here. But Rosenhaus obviously wants to get the most out for his client. He's going to try to break the bank for he might want that number as a 4. I don't know that the Eagles are going to go high as 40.
And congrats to Devontae, who will be married tomorrow. Devontae Smith.
Nice.
Devontae's wedding day is tomorrow.
So is John Clark's.
And that's John Clark's big day.
So is John Gordon's, one of my childhood best friends.
Hey,
look at that.
Look at that. That's
a little bit lower profile wedding, but
congratulations, John Gordon.
That's great.
Yes,
and
John and
Clark.
Jess married tomorrow. I'll be at that one. I need it to not be 100
Devontae
degrees.
Smith and Maya.
Yeah, I think
love is in the air.
If I had to guess, they're going to want that number to be in the 4s. They're going to want 40, and that might be a little too much. That could be the divide there. I think 38's a pretty good number.
They're going to come to an agreement.
Right. There's no doubt about it.
It's just a matter of when.
That's what I think it was. It's a little bit of both. Rosenhaus is probably like, hey, we're not going to be out there for the we'll be out there, but we're not going to be participating in the mandatory, workouts during mini camp. And the Eagles are like, I get it. I don't, like you said, I don't think they were like, oh, no, you have to show up or that's going to make contract. I don't think that was it. I think it was, all right, we understand your position. Totally agree. Fine.
So you guys may
back
be
from surgery.
Overvaluing what the potential year-by-year number is if you believe Bill Barnwell of ESPN. He wrote an article. Now, this was not just an Eagles article. It was not just Jalen Carter.
Okay.
It was the current top market value of positions in the NFL and who's most likely to set the market next. And for interior defensive line, it was, of course, Jalen Carter, the guy that he picked as the next to set it. Now, he says that an extension for Carter would likely come in between 32 and 35 million per season. He does expect it to be a record setter, which I'd imagine he means is the total value of the contract.
Well, if it's over 32, then it'll be a record setter per year.
Yeah, because you guys are saying
so
like 38,
Chris Jones.
Oh, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to approach 40.
Okay.
I don't know that I don't think the Eagles will pay him 40.
I think 36 to 38 is probably where you're looking.
So you guys are both going over.
If they get for 32 to 35, then I think that's a steal.
That. If they get him around 35, I think it's a steal.
Yeah.
Well, this right here might be the contention. We might have just had the perfect lab experiment of what the Eagles and Jalen Carter and his representation might be talking about, because they may be saying, hey, 32 to 35, and he might be a little bit closer to that 4 mark. That's something that Howie Roseman, Drew Rosenhaus, and the other parties involved will have to iron out between now and the start of the season. But we had something on this yesterday, Amy, where it was our poll question, your reaction to this Jalen Carter potential contract situation, paying him a huge extension, would it be a no-brainer? Would you be cautiously optimistic about it? Or would you be essentially against it, or you don't want to see it?
I'm cautiously optimistic about it, but I feel like most people are going to be a no-brainer. And it is. It is a no-brainer to pay the guy. There's just a little thing in the back of my head when he shows up out of shape that is a little bit disconcerting, because I look at the other defensive tackles that are in that range. And we had the list yesterday, and obviously Chris Jones, as I've mentioned, tops that list. You don't hear about those type of things with those players.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter is obviously very young, and maybe it's just one of those things. So it's just like, but you never heard about it with Chris. It's not like Chris Jones is 35 years old.
No, it's not. Exactly.
Aaron Donald, you never had that issue.
Oh, gosh, no. That guy, Aaron Donald could go out tomorrow and probably.
He just might.
Yeah. It's just.
Why don't we stop suggesting that, Connor?
It's just, when you see his workouts, I'm like, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
So it's probably somewhere between, of course you're going to do this contract, and cautiously optimistic, leaning, like, of course you're going to do the contract, and it's a no-brainer. But there is just something in the back of my mind. Is like, I really hope that he continues on the path of, I have to stay in shape, I have to keep my body right, I have to focus, I have to lock in all off season, including the regular season. Like, it's now your job is your job. Right? A lot of these guys come in, they're so talented, they know they can just show up and they're going to be great. Jalen Carter is that guy. I mean, for a lot of people, he should have been either 1, 2, or 3 in the draft. For most people, they had him up there. We all know why he fell. Mm-hmm. There is, and then you see that he's and they've talked about his conditioning. Jordan Davis took that very seriously last year and completely changed everything. And I think you saw that to come to fruition on the field, and then he got the payday. You're hoping that that's the same with Jalen Carter. I think it will be, but I'm in the camp of like, of course you're going to do the contract, no brainer. Just make sure that he does the work he needs to do.
And one of the guys who kept...
Is that weird? But I feel like...
No, I think that's where a lot of people work.
It
now,
is, but I'm like,
the majority yesterday was on the comfortably optimistic vote.
One of the guys who kept him in line, though, and one of the guys who got Jordan Davis sort of in line as far as that, is now a Las Vegas Raider.
In Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
So
they credit him with a lot.
So I'm hoping that, but Jordan Davis has been credited a lot now as being, he's really upped his game as the leader.
Yeah,
so hopefully.
What a tremendous year he had last year.
Jordan has really turned that on. So great.
We've got a little exercise here that I want you to put you guys through with the idea of a no-brainer. Now, what we're going to do, the premise for this, wipe every Eagles contract off the book. It's not how much they're earning now or anything like that. It's not even the value of the contract. But we're talking about if you were to pay top of market value, who would be the top 5 players on this team that you would be most comfortable giving top of market value to right now? Because I'm interested in if Jalen Carter will be one of those top 5 guys.
He's one of my 5. Quinyon Mitchell's one of my 5.
Quinion's the first one.
One of my 5. Yeah, Quinyon's the first person that comes to mind. Yeah, no. For this defense, you have to give Cooper DeJean money.
The thing is, I worry about it in the long run, Amy, and only why. And I love watching Cooper DeJean play. But as I'm starting to look ahead to paying everybody, and I'm saying to myself,
well, yeah, this isn't a realistic.
No. You're not fitting this in with other contracts.
I was like, you can't.
Oh, well, then
because it's going to be like 2 dudes.
Then Coop would definitely be. But I'm telling you,
the first name comes to mind. It's got to be Quinyon Mitchell.
Quinyon Mitchell is number 1 on my list. I wrote it as the first thing I wrote down.
That's number 1.
One that I wrote down.
Quinyon.
I absolutely Devontae Smith. I'd have no problem.
I agree with that as well.
I would have no problem writing down his name. As far as that. Now at his. Then when it gets dicey, Jordan Davis at his position, I'd have no problem. At his position, you're saying by position, right?
Top of market
by his position, by his position. He's already paid top 15%.
How about like a Jordan Mailata? Would he be on this list?
Yes.
Or do you worry about?
He might be the only one on the line.
He might be. He's the only one.
Because, if I had to choose a lineman,
only because.
The way that there's injuries with the other guys, and then there's the age with Lane Johnson.
And Lane Johnson,
nobody said Jalen Hurts yet.
No, I'm getting
the top of market for quarterbacks right now is set at $500 million.
Yeah.
So no, I don't. There is 2 players in the NFL that would warrant at that money, and maybe only one, and it's the gentleman that has it.
Yeah.
Has 3 Super Bowls, and it was funny. We had that. I was on Bird's Huddle and. Barrett is like, with a B? I'm like, what is it? Yeah, with a B. It's insane.
I saw that.
And I'm just like, but he's like, would you, we're in the commercials, like, would you do that? I was like, for Patrick Mahomes, 100%, twice on Sunday. Of course I would. He's like, but he's injured. I'm like, he's Patrick Mahomes. There is nothing about what he's done that says he's not going to be that guy.
I think they also.
Until he shows it.
They want to know that he's always going to be. He's always.
You can't let that guy walk out.
It's till he's 39.
Yeah.
They locked him down.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers is in the league right now. Okay.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You can play for however you want to play. It's me. Top of market for a quarterback. That the market is no longer. The market's out the door. The market is up in the sky.
That's kind of a unique.
Give me
case.
like a realistic market.
So here's the point. You guys proved essentially what I was trying to argue yesterday when I was saying the vote for no brainer should be where most Eagles fans are at with Jalen Carter. This is a really talented team. We're talking about a Super Bowl contending team with some talent all over the place. Like you got Saquon Barkley, you got a great offensive line on paper. We'll see how healthy they are. You got a franchise quarterback, you got a wide receiver 1 that people trust, and that's not even getting to the defensive side of the ball. And we were, I don't want to say struggling, but we were reaching at some names trying to say, hey, maybe this person, maybe that person. When you get a talent level like Jalen Carter,
you lock him up.
It's a no-brainer. There aren't that many of these guys. Your mind will play tricks on you when you think about the in shape or the late to meetings or the spitting on Dak Prescott to start the year last year.
Stuff like that bothers me.
But when you get it down to brass tacks, you have to pay this guy.
Yeah.
There's no other alternative for the organization.
No, there isn't any alternative, and they're going to do that. And he is an otherworldly talent at his position, one of the top 5 guys at that position, and as John pointed out, just at 24 years of age. So, of course, you lock him up for as long as you can get. There is not a question in my mind as far as like doing that. But you ask, like, how would I feel?
He's created
that. Just there's a little bit at the end of like, I'm going to do this. I just hope it all pans out exactly how I want it to be.
Maybe a 1% brainer instead of a no brainer.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
99.99%.
So
be done.
Coming up at 9:30, we got a cool interview for you. Steve Fifer, who hosts Wisconsin Sports Daily, is going to join us to preview Phillies-Brewers. I have a conversation that I want to do real quick with us to set up this interview, because a lot of the conversation around the series is going to be Mizorowski throwing tonight, Sanchez throwing later in the series, a matchup of 2 of the best arms, probably the 2 best arms in the National League. And I have a question for you guys real quick about future awards. If you're a Phillies fan, does your mind go here? Let's say these guys are fighting tooth and nail rest of the season, very comparable numbers, and it gets down to the end for National League Cy Young. Will you feel in your heart of hearts as a Philadelphia Phillies fan, will you buy into the idea of, hey, the younger guy, let him get his chance later? Sanchez has been in this class for a little bit longer, so he deserves the nod. Is that a thought process that you would have?
No, that's not a thought process.
No,
I understand that that's probably out there, but no, the Miz he's already an all-star after pitching 7 pitches, so 7 innings, whatever it was, 30-something. But no, I understand that there is that. I think that's a baseball thing, like an old-school baseball writers thing of they kind of do that when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Well, like, he'll eventually get there, so I don't need to vote for him this year.
Yeah.
That guy will eventually win a Cy Young, so I don't need to vote for him this year. I don't like that.
No, I normally don't either, but if it's to our benefit.
It's not lifetime achievement awards aren't.
If it's to our benefit,
you don't know. You don't know if he's going to have a year like this again.
No, right. This is his deserve. So it's who deserves it this year.
Yeah, and I think for me, I would look at the overall, and I know Mizorowski's had a tremendous season. Has he put together 50-plus scoreless innings?
He has not.
There you go. That, to me, like things like that are going to stand out. And I think the way the team plays is also really important. Good or bad. Mm-hmm. I think that also plays into how people vote.
I think, you know what maybe's going on in the back of my mind is the Corbin Burns, Zach Wheeler.
It won't be Skeens for the first time in a bit.
Yeah, it won't be Skeens.
When Corbin Burns stole Zach Wheeler's Cy Young.
No, he is a great human being.
The story about him just rolling up because he just like saw and just wanted to watch is that he's like, I guess I'm not really incognito. I'm like, yes, you're giant.
That is so nice.
And you're in Pittsburgh. Everybody, you're the only player people know.
Why did Livy Dunn sit in the car, though?
Because he wanted to make it. He just wanted to go and watch. I know, but she sat in
the car for like an hour and a half, scrolling her phone. Come on.
I didn't want to watch Little League Baseball.
The Little League boys wouldn't have wanted to meet Livy Dunn.
They would have liked to.
No, I know.
Sean could. I'll tell you this. Sean, as an 11-year-old, could care less about Livy Dunn. He would have lost his marbles about Paul Skeens.
I know, absolutely.
We'll talk to Steve Fifer coming up, the host of Wisconsin Sports Daily, to preview Phillies-Brewers, a big series here on 97.5 The Fanatic. It's Kincaid and South Tunis, and we are back after this.
Kincaid and South Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It has been a spirited Friday morning here on Kincaid and South Tunis. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew South Tunis. John Kincaid to my left and Amy Padul in studio with us. Hello. You can get your questions in for Ask Me Amything.
Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Friday.
We can never forget about Ask Me Amything. Whatever you want to pick Amy Padul's brain about, we will get to that in the next segment. And heading into a summer weekend, I'm sure people have a lot of questions about what in the world is going on in the life of Amy Padul.
Maybe I was asking her marital question. Like sort of marital questions during the break.
I believe she's taken.
Like advice. No. Like advice, it's like husbands and wives, like, how to deal with things. It's tough.
Absolutely. She's a great sounding board.
Amy has great sounding board.
Which is why we love having her on. We're also excited to talk to our next guest. Steve Fifer joins us now on Kincaid and South Tunis to break down a huge series in Major League Baseball in the National League picture. The Phillies in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers. And Steve, we see Jacob Mizorowski tonight. What has been your reaction to the year he's having, a breakout year on top of an all-star nod last year? How special has been what he's been doing up in Milwaukee?
Yeah, he's got himself in the Cy Young race, obviously with your guy, Christopher Sanchez, there in Philadelphia, and has really been more consistent than he was, last year when he gets called up. He comes up, I think his first 2 or 3 appearances, he's throwing no hit ball, didn't get a hit up, and then he ended up getting hit by a comebacker, and he was out for 3 or so weeks. When he came back, he wasn't the same. He wasn't consistent. He was walking some guys, fell off a little bit. Then when the Brewers got to the postseason, the question was, okay, now the lights are on. Now everybody's watching him like they were when they called him up. Will he step back up again? And he did, and he pitched really well in the postseason. So that was kind of the lingering question in the offseason was, can he be that guy when everybody's not watching him and paying attention to him? Can he be that guy each and every day when the spotlight's not on? And he came back this year kind of on a mission to prove it to everybody that he can be that guy. He can be the leader of the staff and the future Cy Young Award winner.
What's the whole vibe there around that team? Because last year, I'll be honest, I thought that they were playing a little over their heads. The success that they had during the regular season, the numbers that they put up, and it seems like they picked up right where they left off, despite the collapse in the playoffs. I'm really, really impressed. What's it about it? What's the special sauce?
But, John, be honest. I mean, don't you probably think that every year about the Brewers, where every year the Brewers are probably playing over their head?
I am.
That's why Murphy wins Manager of the Year every year, because everybody projects them not to be as good as they normally are. Nobody ever believes in them.
I never learn is what it is. I never learn better.
Right. Right, and that's what it is for a lot of people, which is fine. I mean, it's no big deal. For the longest time, you look at the Brewers and you're like, okay, they're kind of like the pitcher whisperers, where they take a pitcher from another organization, they turn him around, and he pitches really well. Quinn Priester is a guy that was, a highly touted prospect in the Pirates organization. They gave up on him, and he ended up going to Boston. That didn't work out. He comes to Milwaukee in the deal, and is unbelievable last year, and was probably one of their most consistent pitchers last year, seemingly won every time he was on the mound, definitely didn't lose. Now, unfortunately, the injury bug hit him, and he hasn't pitched this year, and I don't think he's going to pitch this year, which is unfortunate, so they've been without him all year. Then Brandon Woodruff is a guy they pay $20-some million to or whatever to come back this year, and his velocity has not been up coming off of that rehab. So he's down in rehab, and he's been down in Nashville the Arizona Sports Complex League, the Rookie League, for his last outing. I think there's some thought that maybe he pitches in that series after the Phillies, maybe against the Guardians. So they've been without him for weeks. So, I mean, they're doing all of this without probably 2 of the better pitchers, or what they were expecting to be their better pitchers coming into the season, and they're doing it with young guys. Kyle Harrison, another guy that everybody, thought was going to be really good coming up in the Giants system. Didn't really work out. Goes to Boston, really was a complete debacle in Boston. The Brewers get him, and up until this last outing at the launching pad in that Las Vegas minor league park this last series, up until then, Kyle Harrison was looking really good, and he was in the Cy Young candidate. I mean, both of them had sub-2 ERAs, going into that series against the Athletics. So you feel good there. The crazy part about this is people need to start talking about maybe they are the hitting whisperers as well, because Jake Bauers was given up on by several teams, and nobody thought he'd ever amount to much of anything, I guess. And you look at Jake Bauers' numbers this year, I mean, you could argue he's probably, the MVP of this Brewers team right now from a hitting perspective, hitting around 285, 290, smashing the ball, a lot of power, big-time clutch player for this Brewers team. So they've taken him out of the ashes and made him into something. And then last year they traded for Andrew Vaughn, because the White Sox were done with him. He was stuck down in AAA. And again, this was a top 10 draft pick years ago. And the Brewers get him. And as soon as he shows up in Milwaukee, he starts hitting and kind of like being the player that everybody thought he was going to be when the White Sox drafted him years ago. And going to Chicago Sports Talk Radio, they laugh. They're like, oh, it's been a month. Yeah, it's not going to last. Well, he's hitting like 365 right now. So it's lasting. And Andrew Vaughn is playing really, really well. So those are all the positives, I guess you could say, about the Brewers. The negatives, what we're talking about in Milwaukee is there's a huge frustration with the left side of our infield, and people are mad about because there's no offense between shortstop with Joey Ortiz and third base with Luis Rengifo. David Hamilton, another guy that has not hit well in his career in Boston, has started to come around a little bit, in the last 2-3 weeks. But again, he's not a power hitter. He's a slap hitter. He's gonna run fast and steal bases and so forth. So I think that's one of the things that the Brewers fans would like to see fixed, is to go find a power bat to potentially play in the left side of the infield. Now, this last game against the Athletics, because of how they substituted, Andrew Vaughn got to play a half inning at third base, fielded a ground ball. Everybody was happy. So we'll see if that ends up being something they look at down the line here. If Vaughn, instead of playing first base, ends up at third base.
Phillies need a power bat in the outfield, so you can't have it. It's ours. Okay? You can't have it. There's only going to be one out there, and you can't have it. But in seriousness, how disappointed are the Brewers fans going to be when The Miz is not named the starter in the All-Star game here in Philadelphia? Because it ain't happening.
I don't think anybody will be disappointed. Nobody thought the Miz would be in the All-Star game last year, including the Miz himself.
True.
And that was a big controversy. Like, oh, he hasn't made enough starts, he shouldn't be there, and so forth. And I was on there going, guys, look, this is the All-Star game. It's for entertainment, right?
Exactly.
It's a spectacle. That's
and
why
there's nobody more entertaining than the guy that throws 101 every single start.
Exactly, right. So that's why he should be there. We were having a conversation the other day about should Paul Skeens be there or not type deal. I was like, I don't care what Paul Skeens is doing currently. It's Paul Skeens. Yep. People want to see Paul Skeens. He'll be in the All-Star game.
That's correct.
We're talking to Steve Fifer. He is the host of Wisconsin Sports Daily. It talks a lot of Brewers up there in Wisconsin, so we're previewing the series. Now, we get caught in the Phillies echo chamber a lot here in Philadelphia. I would love for you to talk about just a little bit what the thought process is for an opposing fan base or opposing media when they see the Phillies come to town. How tough of a task is it to play this baseball team?
I'll be honest. Again, we're different than probably everybody else in the country, right? But, from a Brewer fan standpoint, there's not a lot of chatter about the Phillies when they come to town. Cubs come to town, a lot of chatter, absolutely. Then, it's boo the trader manager in Chicago and do all that and get all riled up. For the rest of baseball, not as much of chatter of like, oh, we've got to beat these guys or whatever. Now, if it's the Packers, okay, well, that's different. If the Eagles come to Green Bay, yes, then there's a lot of chatter and a lot of people talking about Philadelphia. But the Phillies, not as much. I think, outsider looking in, it's Sanchez, obviously. It's Schwarber being Babe Ruth this year and hitting a lot of long balls and doing that type of stuff. I don't think there's a lot of people that are going to be all up in arms to, oh my gosh, I got to go run and see this game. I will say that Sunday matchup, Sanchez against Harrison, that's the one I've got circled and one I can't wait to see how that plays out, because now after Harrison got blown up at the launching pad in Vegas, now there's a party like, okay, did they figure him out or was that just a situational thing? So that's what we're all waiting to see.
Sounds great, Steve. Well, we appreciate you taking the time.
Steve. Thanks, Steve.
And I'll be talking to you later today on your work up there. So we'll be doing a little crossover
kind of you
action.
Guys.
Of course.
Hey, Steve, have you ever been to Genoa?
We've had Connor on. We've had Connor on before. He's solid. He's good.
Have you ever been to Genoa City, Wisconsin?
I dated a girl in Genoa City, Wisconsin at one point, yes.
Did you really?
There you go. Genoa City.
That's the fictional town of Young and the Restless. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yes, it is. I watched that show, too. And General Hospital, too, back in the day when I was in college. I watched all those soap operas.
There you go.
You two are two peas in a pod, aren't you?
Good stuff. Victor, go check out Newman Enterprises when you're there. See you, buddy.
Yes.
Thanks, man.
I love it.
See you.
Appreciate you, Steve. There he is, Steve Fifer, the host of Wisconsin Sports Daily, joining us there to break down what's going on with the Brewers. That's the thing I want Phillies fans to take away from that interview. The issues that he's talking about.
I just like, he was like, we need some power on the left side. I was like, you can't have it.
Yeah, he's like the left side of the infield.
Stop it.
Yeah, us too. We need a power bat. Us too.
There's just going to be the one. But it's good to know other people. That division's very good, though.
They're tight.
That division.
Connor was pointed out yesterday.
Save for I guess it's who's at the bottom. The Reds. Everybody's over 500.
It's amazing.
And even the Reds were in the postseason last year.
But they're like right there. They're like maybe one game under 500.
A 4-game winning streak, 5-game winning streak puts them in second.
Yeah,
it's like that
division's ridiculous.
But these problems, I'm not telling you to lower your bar for the Phillies. You better not. Should be the expectation. I would never.
You better not.
But if you don't think that these problems exist other places, like you've got the same issues as everybody else. And if we're all in the same boat, well, that gives you a chance, doesn't it?
It does.
That's at least where my mind goes. Now, where do the listeners' minds go when we ask them for questions for Amy Fadul? We have Ask Me Amything coming your way, and also our final Twitter poll numbers. We'll take a look ahead to USA Paraguay tonight. Just a little look in on Team USA. Just a little peek, maybe one eye open on that one as the World Cup gets going for Team USA. It is Kincaid and South Tunis right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and South Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Let's get our final Twitter poll numbers here because I want to clear the stage. We got a busy Ask Me Amything. A lot of questions from the folks. Yeah, it's a summer Friday. Everyone wants to know what's going on. So let's check in. Thank you to Dr. Avidan Appel of Iron Mountain Men's Health, who brings us our Twitter poll every day, 4 hours strong in the morning and the afternoon. What's our question and the final results, Nick?
All right, what we got today is how do you feel about the Eagles now compared to when the team walked off the field against the 49ers? Feel better, feel the same, feel worse. Feel better is at 61% now. Feel the same is at 29%, and feel worse is at 10%.
So we got it down to 10% even, and feel better is the large majority. I think that's a good place. It's never going to be perfect here in Philadelphia. There's always going to be people
spot, though.
that feel bad. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
I think it's all the A.J. Brown effect, and none of us are ripping anybody.
I totally get it.
Who feels that way.
I totally get it.
None of us are ripping.
Big concern. And the offense as a whole, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, as we've had much more worrisome Eagles off seasons. So this is pretty light when it comes to what we've previously dealt with here in Philadelphia. Let's now go to one of our favorite segments. It's time on a summer Friday for Ask Me Amything.
Now it's time for
What else you need to know?
Ask Me Anything.
Would you like to know more?
No. Ask Me Amything.
Now, we have questions on the text line. We also have a bunch of questions from the YouTube chat.
Hello, YouTube.
I love this one. Andrew asks on the YouTube, not our Andrew Salchunas. He'll be back on Monday. Do you like fishing? It was fishing without the G on it. Do you like fishing?
Fishing.
The whole question.
I like the idea of fishing.
Oh, okay.
I knew that was going to be your answer.
I like going out on a boat and deep sea fishing.
Oh, okay.
And I've been on I live in the South. I've been on a pontoon for people or a John boat, and I've fished out of there.
I like the pontoon fishing. I've done that too.
I like a good lake, but it's not like an activity that I find myself doing a lot, but that's probably on me. Now, we have been known to fish off a pier.
You ever done pontoon?
That's rare.
I've never done the pontoon.
Pontoon's good if you don't.
That's a nice one because you can kind of just troll a little bit out there. Yeah. But it's an activity that I probably wish I did more of, but I like the idea of it. I don't mean that I don't like it. I do like it. I just don't get to do it very often.
It's one of those where it's like, why don't I do it more? And then you never do it more.
Bear Brooks is a big fisherman, and he's always like, you got to get on my boat, got to get on my boat. They're huge. Every vacation he takes, he fishes.
Really?
Oh, that's awesome.
Every single time. That guy is always looking out to fish. He
that's
loves
patience.
It. And so he's big time, and he'll take his boat out at Cape May, and he'll get down there. So I'll get out go fishing with Barrett sometime.
What do we have on the text line for Ask Me Amything?
All right, what we got is Frank in Northeast chimed in. I am wondering if Amy could have first row tickets for just one sporting event or concert. What would you pick?
It would be Kentucky in the national championship. Without question.
Easy question.
Yeah, boots on the floor. I've sat front row for a Kentucky basketball game. It was actually against Drexel. Thank you, Bruiser Flint, for hooking me up with that one at Kentucky. And it was like my mom and I went, and it was like one of the best moments. And obviously, when you're on the media, you get to sit very close to. And I'm very. It was when they won 2000. My mom, it was like one of her best memories of all time. I felt bad because they won their 2000th game
against Bruiser,
and he looks behind. I'm like literally sitting like right behind or like next to their bench, and he's like, seriously? And I was like, buddy, you knew this, giving me these tickets.
Gotta root for your team.
Chief Dan is listening to the show right now. My cousin Dan on his boat fishing.
There you go.
Must be nice.
Isn't that nice?
Maybe I'll do that once we get done today. Find a little pond.
Or maybe
somewhere.
he's on the dock. He could be on the dock. They have a dock at the house.
Yeah, some people fish on.
Another question, timely one here from the YouTube chat. Kev wants to know, Amy, better sport to watch on TV, soccer or golf?
Oh, that's a great question. Soccer, I think, because you can see the whole field. Though when they had the friendlies here at the link, I've taken Shawnee a couple of those. We had a great time in person because you really get like a cohesive atmosphere. There's just that. I love seeing golf up close because I'm just always like, how far is he going to hit that? And well, you know what he's not going to do is chunk his 4-iron, Amy. That's what he's not going to do.
I can't even hit a 4-iron.
We can see that next Friday when we all play.
Golf is fun because on television you get to see a lot more, but I like being in person. But I would say probably I would lean soccer on that one, though I think both are really great in person.
I'd go golf.
On television?
Yeah, because I think there's just more action.
Yeah, you can see more action. You're not walking around
Like
as
soccer,
much.
just there's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not trying to see a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
At least someone in golf is going to score
But the energy
something.
of a soccer match.
I'm telling you, even those
Yeah.
friendlies, it was amazing.
Oh, in person, it's amazing. And if you're going to the World Cup games in Philadelphia, I hope you have a
Enjoy.
wonderful time.
Have a
Enjoy
great
safe
time.
travels down
and
there.
enjoy
It's gonna be
by
fun.
the way, the parties at the local bars and everything.
Oh, everybody's
I
got
hope
stuff.
everyone's
There's viewership.
packed.
They've had the FIFA festival
be
that
great.
opened up the other day. So
Awesome. Enjoy it all.
It's gonna be a
and
great
everybody
weekend.
and everybody be friendly to each other. Don't be New York.
I'm going to test some of those bars tonight for the Team USA game.
to see how late you can stay.
Don't be
Oh,
New
yeah.
York.
Oh,
4
4 a.m. I could do 4 a.m. And we have
4 a.m.
another one on the text line, Nick.
Yeah, we got another one on the text line. Hoagie or cheesesteak? What's your preference and what's your standard order? John C. in Tennessee.
If I do, Tennessee. If I do cheesesteak, it's a chicken cheesesteak.
Which isn't a cheesesteak.
I mean, it's cheese and with chicken steak. Everybody
No
knows.
steak and chicken.
But if I were going to go to a cheesesteak, it would be provolone with, and then my go-to hoagie order from Wawa. It's tuna. It's their tuna salad.
You go tuna,
I
huh?
love their tuna salad.
Ooh, wow.
It's turkey, but I love the tuna salad.
Wow.
Everyone knows this at work.
That's
They're like,
off the board.
I didn't
that's
expect
especially
the
if I'm
tuna.
feeling a certain way in the morning. I'm like, you know what I'm going to need this afternoon? I'm going to need a tuna salad hoagie.
Wow. No, what's the bread?
Just the shorty.
classic.
regular
No,
shorty.
just
shorty roll.
but is it the white or the wheat?
The white.
Oh, the white. Okay.
Ah, interesting. We're
If
learning
I'm going
so much
Wawa
more.
hoagie.
The tuna,
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
never have called
They
that.
have an underrated tuna salad.
Well, I'll have
they
to
tried
try
to change the recipe. I'm convinced they did because I had that thing all the time. And then a couple years ago, I was like, this doesn't taste the same. And I said something to my local Wawa woman who I used to go there on Delaware Ave. And she was like, I think they might have changed it. And I was like, you
they
need
bring
to
it
change
back?
it back. The
Change it back.
last couple years have been fine.
This is the power Amy Fadul has, people. She can change
I was
the
not the
hoagies
only
at
one that
Wawa.
noticed it. People out there that are tuna hoagie people, you noticed it too. Lettuce, tomato, onion, cucumbers.
I
All the
love
way.
this segment because we get to learn stuff. Hey, we see you all the time.
it's off
and
the
these are
board.
things that
Yeah.
we don't even know
And the
about.
tuna
you.
hoagie. I like a turkey, but the tuna hoagie is elite for me.
So
From
there
Turkey
Wawa.
hoagies sometimes can be a little dry.
Yeah. Well, I
Can
get.
be.
I
Like
gotta get the
turkeys
dry.
can
I gotta
be a
get
little
the
dry.
stone
Yeah,
ground mustard.
I'm
the
an
brown mustard
Italian.
on it.
I love the brown mustard.
Delicious.
I go Italian with the mayo and honey mustard, which probably makes me a crazy person. But
I'm sorry.
Honey
Mayo
mustard
and
with
honey
wait a minute.
mustard?
Oh, yeah.
Mayo and honey mustard?
That is.
sir.
Oh,
that
God.
has-
Diabolical.
Yeah, my
That's
stomach.
great.
My stomach just turned.
Holy grease, Batman.
Ugh.
That's like how does
too
the
much
meat
for me.
how
It's
does the
good for you.
meat stay inside the
Just slides right
roll?
down the
It
gullet.
slides right
Yeah.
off.
Exactly.
Oh
Right
my
down the
Like when
gosh.
the bread gets soft. It soaks into it.
Oh.
All right,
Oh,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll go to something a little bit more palatable. Team USA plays tonight, 9
Yep.
p.m. against Paraguay. In case you're not familiar with the setup or anything of that nature, for all the World Cup newbies out there, and John, I know you know
I
there's
am.
going to be a lot of them.
Yes. But I sort of am too.
That's okay.
This is the biggest tournament ever. 48 teams now.
This is also the best USA team we've had in a while.
Yes, it is. They are expected to win their group, and they should
Well,
be
their
able to
group
make
is
it
like
out.
Little Sisters of the Poor and
John, they made a run to the quarterfinals in 2002.
right.
Do you know how many wins they've had across all World Cups since 2002?
1.
3 total wins.
Wow.
Drew with England last time out.
20 plus years,
It's amazing.
3 wins.
Yes,
Get
so
after
they
it.
Very
take
good.
on
These are
Paraguay.
guys that are
Let's
playing.
get after it.
Yeah, these are guys that are playing in the EPL. These are legit stars. We've come a long way, baby.
And one of Paraguay's better players was injured in the friendly leading up to the actual World Cup, so a little bit disadvantaged.
And they have
there's
what,
no
Australia after this?
Yes, it
Yeah.
will
Is
be
there any
Australia.
benefit to this is one thing in your group? Is there any benefit to how big you win your group?
Yes, so
Yes, there's
point
point
differential
differential.
plays.
No, but does that
Goal differential.
does it
Yes.
benefit you in the
It does.
next
Yes.
round?
Yeah, it
Oh,
sets you
with
up.
seeds.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, so that'll
that's
be
good then.
it'll be the round of 32, which actually sets up a little bit easier this year because there are more teams that should be beatable when you
There you
get
go.
into the knockout stages.
Just win
we
a
go.
couple of games. We're not expecting
That'd
you to
be
win
fun.
the whole thing. Just
That'd
win a
be
couple
fun.
of games.
Win it all.
Wear
It's
the
a lot of
colors.
fun.
Win
and
it all.
And everybody wear the colors proudly and unify. It's
fun.
Unify. Everybody be unified.
always fun when
We got
they
a
win.
common goal.
It'll be a very fun event. It'll
Enjoy,
be a very
everybody.
fun weekend. Thank you so much, Amy, for
Thank
joining
you
us.
guys.
as
Have a good
always.
weekend.
Thank you for everybody
job.
behind
Good
the
job,
scenes
Connor.
doing a
Earned
great
Shaw.
job.
Good job.
Nice work.
Good job.
Everyone did a wonderful job, and all of our listeners, we appreciate you very much. Middays with Marks comes your way next, and we will talk to you next on Monday here on 97.5 The Fanatic.